Okay. All right. So I will get down to the pricing guide. This is the template in Tariq's Party Rental Boss's library. So I am going to give you guys a copy of it, but I learned um, to not give that too quickly because if I give it to you, then you're going to look at it. You're not going to look at my screen and then you'll miss what I have to say, which is kind of important. So I am going to give it to you. I promise. I'm just going to show you my version and how I got to my completed version. So let's see. Let's see if I can screen share here. Okay. All right. There we go. Can everybody see it? Good to go? All right, awesome. So this is Tariq's super awesome, amazing pricing calculator. And let me just say how awesome it is to have something that automatically calculates when you're putting in numbers. I am definitely one of those people who needs that. So really appreciate how well this is set up. So basically this pricing calculator allows you to take a look at what your competitors are charging, look at what their business is overall, take a look at their website, and then make some decisions for your own business to kind of go along with what's going to help you grow and improve here. So Tariq has his recommendations down here, and I'll kind of go over those a little bit. But I just wanted to start with, okay, how do I start filling this in? So what you fill in is in green. Okay. The first thing you're going to find is how much your competitors in your area. So very simply, I just Googled bounce house rentals near me is what I started with. And then I found, oh, well, pretty much in Arizona, I'm looking at Phoenix. We had the sponsored ads for companies in Phoenix, which I'm actually in Tucson. So that's an hour and a half to 2 hours away from me. So the people who are paying for Google ads, who are being sponsored, are really far away from where I'm at. But I included them anyway because I wanted to look at the different prices. And then I included 3 other companies who were really high up on the list, who showed up on Google Maps. So these are all companies in my area that do uh, basically who do bounce houses, really. So what I did was I went to their websites and I wanted to check out exactly what it was that they were offering. So I looked up bounce house rentals near me, and then who knows if that's exactly what they offer. So this was the first one, a child's joy. Okay. And already I'm looking at all the different things. I'm thinking, um, exactly where are they renting, right? And then when I'm looking for pricing guides here, I'm looking at what their numbers are, right? Because I want to know in comparison to what I have in stock, if I were running a bounce house company, if I have something that's close to that, I want to know what they're charging because that gives me a better idea of what's competitive in the area. So I just kind of scrolled through, and if I were using this pricing guide, I would look for, like I said, a unit that's close to what I'm renting, right? So I picked just a bounce house combo, I think is what I started with, but yeah. So I went to the website, and then I started putting the prices in. So it was about 149 just for your average bounce house, 325 for the combo, 15 foot. I actually found that there were different slides, like 16 and 14, like they had different versions. So what I would recommend is kind of personalizing this to what you have. So that way your inventory, so it makes sense for what they're renting out. So 18-foot slide here. And then I didn't find too many companies who were actually renting tents. But if you're interested in renting tents and they are renting tents, then I highly recommend filling these in as well. But it's really just sort of a research project. So what I'd like to do with this is I do want to give you the pricing calculator after I talk about this, and then have you have a chance to do the research. And I'd like to look at a few people's from different areas next week as well. Where did I find their reviews and ratings? So that's on Google. I actually found one that was only on Yelp. So, which is really interesting because I've never seen a bounce house company on Yelp. I wonder how well that does for them. So this first one is actually the number of Yelp reviews that they have, and they had 36, and their average rating was a 3.8. So nowhere near the 5 stars that Bounce My House has in Chicago. But really interesting what, the reviews that they were getting because they seem to be these first two, Arizona Bounce Around and A Child's Joy. they seem to be really far away from me, but those would be the first ones I would click on because that's what shows up when I Google bounce house rentals. And then these
So
other, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to comment real quickly that Yelp has
Yeah.
come a super long way. We've been on Yelp for a long time, but not
Oh,
like as an advertiser, just we have a listing, we have a rating, but they
mhm.
have new tools. And one of the things is people can request services and then they send you a message with, hey, somebody's requested a bounce house in this area. Are you interested? And you communicate through Yelp. You don't get their direct phone number. You can, if they provide a phone number, you get a special text line and then it'll communicate back and forth with them via text. But I booked a $900 tent last week off Yelp.
Did
I
you?
was
That's
like, what the heck? There was something new that they rolled out. So if you haven't visited Yelp in a while, this new tool makes it a lot like a Gig Masters or a Gig Salad, like a lead service. Of course, they want to upsell you. Of course, they want you to spend money. Of course, they want you to advertise, but you don't have to. It's free. And I had like 5 reach outs last week. And out of those 5, I actually booked one and one came into my store. I don't know if I'm going to book her yet because she seems really cheap. So anybody who hasn't been on Yelp for a bit, go back and check it out. I was, yeah, everybody gives them a bad rap, but I was seriously impressed. So there you go. 2 cents on Yelp.
nice. Thank you. Yeah, definitely. Cause I was thinking that Google is where most people are, looking for bounce houses, whereas Yelp is more, restaurants. Like that's where I look for good restaurant reviews, but that's cool. Yeah. Awesome. Um, so there's that. And then this company here, Arizona Bounce Around, actually had the most Google reviews and they had the lowest rating out of the competitors that I looked at. They also priced their bounce house at $99. They're the second lowest here. So really what this pricing calculator allows you to do is to take a look at the other businesses in your area and see where you rank and what you can do when it comes to your own pricing, so that way you're competitive with the market. So there are not as many competitors when it comes to bounce house rentals as I thought there would be. So it's just interesting to kind of look and see what other people are doing and kind of get an idea of that. So the numbers down here are just going to average. So out of these companies that I looked at, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5 companies I looked at, the average number of reviews is 27. So for my own bounce house company, I'd be like, I want to go way above and beyond. I know Tariq's company, Bounce My House, has about 700 Google reviews. So I would like make it my mission to like go for those Google reviews, make sure that I'm with every single thing that I could do. I would be going with Google reviews. And then the average rating is a 404 for the Google reviews. I guess technically one of them is the Yelp, but still, that's another thing. Like my customer service, I would really focus on making sure that that is on point every single time. And I know that even if you do your very best, like it doesn't always work. Like there could be somebody who posts that's not great. But I would really like make a point of calling, you know, those individuals who were maybe not giving me as good of ratings as I wanted and like what can I do better? And I'd really focus on that. And then this is really cool. It does the average of all these for the bounce house for each of those. It gives you the average of what it's costing for that. Now Tariq's recommendation when it comes to that, when it comes to pricing, is consider keeping your price high, but offering a discount. So as in this combo $300, I can discount that to 200 because I know that the market is about that anyway. But I want to show that I'm high quality. I have good reviews. I have great customer service. I have so many great things to offer. So that's why my prices are higher. But then here's this really great discount. I'm fine with the $200 if that's what I want to charge, but I want to put it at something higher so that way I can offer value for that. So same thing here, price your rentals at 195 or 199 instead of 200. So again, it's like that added value. Like I'm fine with that. I just want to show that I can add value there. And then of course he put get more Google reviews, which is perfect. And then in bold, brag about your brand new high quality stuff. So when you get that 4-in-1 combo, like John has, he's gonna get a third one because it rents so well. Then I want to brag about that. Look at all the great new equipment I have. And that's part of that added value. And then he specifically said Google Ads, not Facebook Marketplace. And then we just talked about Yelp. So really, I mean, it really depends on your area, doesn't it? Who's searching for what and where, right? Okay. So I do want to give you the pricing calculator. I'm going to give you a thing here, a link. And then we can kind of talk about your thoughts here so you guys can play around with this. Here we go. I'll give you the link. So if you click on the link, it'll be view only and you'll make a copy of it, I believe. Right? And what's great about this pricing calculator, it absolutely appeals to I know you can't see my screen, there it is. It appeals to my teacher investigative side because I was, looking at all the website links and like, is this a website that I think would get a lot of bookings? Obviously, I can't verify that from my side. But everything that I can take away research wise from people who are in the same business is helpful, right? Because I want to compete in the market and I want to have competitive pricing. And so that's what the pricing calculator really helps with. All right, beyond that. Okay. All right, so now everybody has the link. What are our thoughts about the pricing guide? Do you have questions about it? Anybody having trouble opening it? Oh, how do we make a copy? That's great, yeah. How do we make a copy? Great question. Let me do that. Let me show you. Okay, screen share here. Okay. All right. So if you're going to make a copy, all you have to do is go to File and hit Make a Copy. Okay. And then I just want to add mine. I like labeling. Okay, because prices change, things change, reviews change. So this template really allows you to, modify like as needed. So maybe I feel like, at the end of the season, I want to take a look at where everybody's pricing things and then kind of make sure that I'm also competitive with that, which I think a lot of you guys do already. Like you're looking at competitors and figuring out what's the best strategy. So this is just a way to keep it all together. And what's great is you can just duplicate. Go ahead and do that. I can take the sheet and I should be able to just duplicate it. Yep. So this one here is my 2024, right? And I could do spring if I wanted to be that specific, or I could do 2024 fall, however you want to categorize it. And then you can kind of revisit this pricing guide calculator to kind of determine where you're at. Okay. Righty. So any questions about our pricing guide calculator so far?
So with the pricing guide, right, and where you say the average, basically you want to try to charge within that area to be competitive.
So there's a couple of recommendations and definitely maybe John or Stacie can offer their thoughts because they've been also doing this for a very long time. But
if you want to hear my take on it,
yeah.
you can definitely find out what other people are charging if in your area people are willing to give the pricing on their website. But I mean, like, I don't know, in New York, I could never go with any of these prices that are here. I just I wouldn't be able to pay my rent. I wouldn't be able to pay my staff. You know, if I was a one-man show and I was going out and I was doing it myself, you know, and storing the inflatables in my garage or a, you know, or a cheap storage area, I might be able to live off of these numbers. This is one of the things I have to tell you. Being around a long time boggles my mind. When I started back when I was 17 years old, we used to get $350. I'm 58 now, going to be 59 at the end of the year. So I was 17 years old. We would get $350 for 2 hours for a generic air castle type bounce, and we would do this 2 or 3 times a day. My ex boss, his company, and so now that people are getting so so much less money for it, we're all paying the same price for buying the inflatables, right? We're not getting different prices because of where our market is. So I feel bad for people that have to charge $99 for a bounce house. It just boggles my mind. But so I think John, you have to look at what your expenses are and what works for you. You don't want to be the lowest guy in the area. I don't think that's the race to the bottom is no good. And I don't think you want to be the most expensive, but it all depends. What sets you out from your competitors, and why should people use you as opposed to somebody else? Do you answer the phone? Do you talk to them? If there's a problem with the rental for any reason, are they going to be able to get a hold of you? So these are things that I think can increase your value over your competitors. So that's just some things that I look at these things here, and I just don't get it. I don't get it. I'm not knocking it. I just don't get the how low the prices are on some of these units.
Yeah, I looked at it when I followed with Tariq was saying that if once I buy a brand new one, how much do I want to charge to actually get the money back out of it, right? And how long? Let's say if I had what a $6,000 unit, okay, I want to try to get the money back out of it within what the first 3 years. I divide that into that, and that's what basically I was charged.
It's not about the years as much as how many rentals on that
Mhm.
unit. All right. So I'm going to use something a little bit less of a value, what we used to do, and it doesn't work all the time. But like Gold Medal had a popcorn cart that used to cost Gay 90s popcorn cart that used to cost $1,600. So our rental used to be $160 for that cart. So within 10 rentals, we would make back what we paid for it, right? So that was a great what's what the term is, if anyone that doesn't know it, ROI, return on investment. So that's exactly what you want to get from any of your equipment is ROI, and a good healthy ROI. But the more expensive something is, the harder it is to get your ROI. Now I'm going to give you when I took over the business from my boss. One of the things that I realized the trend was that you have to think about McDonald's in a way, right? You go to McDonald's, you go through the drive-through. So if McDonald's sells burgers, right? Everybody knows that, right? But where do they make their extra money? You're going to buy the soda, you're going to buy the fries, and hey, can I get you an apple pie with that? So if you are if you're actually talking to your customers, or I have not done um, the websites where the people just get it, but you definitely want a suggestive sell more than just that bounce house. So what I learned when I took over was when I was selling is that every bounce house was a potential to rent a cotton candy machine. Every bounce house was a potential to rent a carnival game. Every bounce house was a potential to rent a helium tank. So that bounce house cost me so much, but it got me in the door for all my other items that were paid off. People rent out all these different yard games and all that, and it's a $25 bill here, a $25 bill there. But you want to go out with a complete trailer, right, or a complete vehicle that's completely packed with everything, and make the most out of each sale. You've already got somebody having a party. What else do they need? Do they need a table? Do they need some chairs? So things of that nature is what I tell my salespeople to make sure to ask the questions. It's hard. It's hard. Not everybody wants to do it. Not everybody can talk on the phone the way I can, right? But if you can, then it's a way to increase that ticket. You can take a $250 ticket, and you can easily bring it up to $500, and things that these people might not know they need, or may not think about it. Hey, the kids like cotton candy. Well, it's really great to see cotton candy being made, and you can book that machine out, and so it's not sitting on the shelf. So your inventory is doing no good to you sitting, on your shelf. So you want to try to get the most you can. So packaging your items together to get a higher ticket will help you pay for that $6,000 unit a lot faster.
Okay. Okay.
I agree with everything John just said.
Thank you.
The ROI, the 10 times was the rule I always use too. The 10-time rental. That's what has been my go-to for less years than you, but many, many years.
It's just so hard when the 10 time comes up to when you're buying a combo for a really expensive price. Or what I've gotten a little cocky with that I start to do now. I want to have things that other people don't have. So leisure activities. I'm not getting any kickbacks from any of the people that I'm talking about tonight. I just wanted to say that. But leisure. I went to IAPA 2 years ago, and I wanted to get a Jurassic Park obstacle course, and I could not for the life of me get anyone to build it the way I want it built. And I've been around a long time, so I wanted it my way. Finally, Leisure took it on, and I paid a little bit more for it. But now you will see the Jurassic obstacle course on Leisure's website that was a custom build for me, which I could have held just for me, and they would not have sold to anybody else. But I'm in the they complimented me, and they asked me to be in the designer group. So this way here, if they sell 10 of them, I'll get my money back. But I didn't do it for that. I wanted to have something that not anyone else could have off the shelf, but I've been doing it a long time. So think about what your competitors have in the close by area. To you, some things are staples, get them anyway, but don't try to duplicate your competitors, right? If they have the same thing as you, then it's just a price war, and nobody wins in a price war. So you want to have a variety, something different that they don't have, a different design, and this way here, when 90% of the time when I get my bigger events, a lot of my recreation department people or my country club event co-chair person will put a unit on that they want for their event that only my company has. Right? I have a big bumper car trailer that I bring out. So you want my bumper cars. Well, then you're taking my inflatables and everything else, along with it, and they know that. If they don't take the rest of the stuff, then they're going to be paying premium price for that bumper car piece. So and that's some of the things that makes me special. I wind up keeping customers for 15 years, with no problem. They're your customers to lose, they're your customers to win. So that's just some of the things. But I'm always learning. Like, even though I've been around a long time, I definitely look at a lot of things that all of the newer people out there are doing. A new guy not too far from me, far enough that we're not competitors. But one of the things that he taught me was I used to love fixing everything. I could fix anything. A motor breaks, I'd get right on there. I know the capacitors. I know how to take the squirrel cages off. I know how to fix it. Well, you know what? When I started doing drop-offs as opposed to having my guys on site, I needed to change my way of thinking, because anytime a motor broke on a customer, bad customer. They weren't happy with us because the motor went down their party, right? And if I was home that day and when I didn't have an event going on, well, guess what? My plans were ruined because I had to rush over there, with a new motor. So I trashed a whole bunch of my old motors, and I bought new motors, and do that in my inventory too. You don't want to keep inventory around that is a problem. Problem inventory is just that. It's nothing but problems. Your customers won't like it. So you got it. When things start getting old and they start getting broken and they won't inflate anymore, they don't work well, get rid of them. It's not worth the aggravation. It'll cost you money in more ways than just lost rentals.
Monster basketball. Anyway, to piggyback on what he's saying, for the newer guys that don't have the budget to buy the huge things right off the bat and are just getting started, make your units multi-useful. Buy things that you can use banners or themes on, because that's going to let you look like you have more inventory than you do. And it's really easy to pick up something to theme it to somebody's event that's not a whole unit. So like I have all sorts of things that take banners, slides, bounce slide combos, bounces, games, make you look bigger.
Got a question. If I rent a bouncy house, how many hours should you rent it for? Is it for a full day or 2 hours, 3 hours for that price of $150 or $200?
Like rub it on your face and then
I mean, it all depends on how you are structuring your business. If you can turn that thing around after, most parties are going to be 4 hours, right? So you probably, an hour, maybe leeway both ways. So maybe 6 hours if you have the time and the staff to move it. If you can rent it out twice, a weekend, sometimes like Saturday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So if you're not doing anything else and you're just doing drop-offs, then definitely, if you can move it around, I would say 6 hours would probably be the most time that you want to let them have it for, in my opinion, and then pick it back up again, and then bring it to the next person. I just but from my company, we really don't have the time on the weekends to move the bounces from one house to the next. So one of the things that we charge more than anybody else, but I just move it once and that's it. And of course, it helps me out with weekends where it may rain Saturday, but it's not raining Sunday. So people have the unit for both days.
Okay, thank you. Just trying to get my, learning these things. Like I said, I'm new and trying to learn.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And John, I completely I just did a quick Google search of bounce house rentals in around New York City, Brooklyn, and very few of them actually post their prices. And a few of them, when I click on their pages, like it just shows as an error. So there's like errors, and
Yeah,
it's a
listen,
struggle.
I mean, like my website, if you went to it, it's disastrous. I don't like it. I'm working on it myself right now, but what I did do is I wound up learning a program called Flipbook, and I'm very, very good at doing 8.5 by 11 PDFs, and then I took my brochure that I hand out to people, and I put it on a digital flip book. And with that being the case, let me see if I can find it real quick, and I can put it in the chat.
Awesome.
Hold on a second. So people can get an idea of everything that I have, which is easier for me to do than to do my to have my website updated all the time by somebody. I was always paying a lot of money for people to update my website, and so I didn't like that. So now I do this. Let's see, where's the chat? Let's see if I can get that in there. on a Mac, so I'm trying to figure out my copy. Default. No, what is it? Control. Here we go. All right, so that link there, if you click on it, that is my inventory. That is all my equipment. And the greatest thing about that for me is like I keep that link going, right? So customers that have that link, when I change the book, the link doesn't change. So if I take an item out or put another item in, it just stays. They can keep going through that link, and so there you go. I've created every single page in that book. Yes, there are some typos in there. I'm working on going through it, but it's a 36-page book that we actually print out and give to our customers at trade shows. This is probably this is probably my best book yet, but I know that there's some errors here and there, but definitely gives a good show of what my company has, and I can keep adding onto it, and do different things. So, all the different kinds of pieces that I have, and I've got a good variety of different things that I do.
Awesome. Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that. And this is, I mean, this is working for you, and
Oh, it works for me
you
very
have
well.
complete control over it, which is really nice. So that's really great.
Yeah, if
Awesome.
I can learn what some of the newbies have learned about the booking software and all of that, I'm sure I can. I'm
Hmm.
sure I can take my business to the very next level. But I'm just some guys in the web groups might call me a dinosaur because I've been around a long time, and I'm just kind of stuck in what my ways are and how I do it. So I'm, I got that control aspect that I like, and we book a lot of stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's basically, as I was researching, different websites or different people in your area, like this one in particular, it's the inventory, it's flashy, right? Um,
Mhm.
and then they have the prices. This is one of the very few ones that like actually showed the prices. And then this is just here. And then if I go and click on one of the units, there's no pricing.
Mhm.
And if it's me personally, like if there's no pricing, then I'm going somewhere else, right?
Yeah,
And
listen,
then
in New York, it's just the way that other other people do it. I mean, and then of course, I work with a lot of other um, event companies. So some of my equipment is on 2 and 3 other websites. Because
mm,
they'll call
wow.
me for the carnival rides and different things. So it's definitely it's and some of these people don't own everything that they claim that they own. They might be putting things up there, and oh, I'm sorry, that's booked out this weekend. I mean, that's you want to make yourself a
Uh,
little look a little bigger. I don't say do too many pieces, but maybe if you want to add on maybe 1 or 2 of your wish pieces that you will be getting. You might want to put 1 or 2 pieces on there if you want to when you're starting out and you want to look a little bigger. That may be something to do, and it might even incite you to go out and get it if you're getting enough calls for it.
Awesome. I love that. I would love to hear more about that. And I went past my time normally. So normally I do a little wrap up at the end of these. John, just so great. Stacie, awesome information. Kelly, thank you so much for sharing also. And everyone who came in today. Adriano, thank you for like putting yourself out there, like you're a new person, and that's really great. And John, um, other John Norman. Thank you for listening in, and Kevin also, because this is really great information. So many great things. This is live on Facebook, so there will be a recording you can revisit. Like I definitely was taking notes furiously, but I would, back it up because I think there's a lot of information here that we can definitely take advantage of. For next time, for Tuesday, I definitely recommend if you don't want to use it for pricing, just to check out the other things that your people in your area are doing with their companies. So whether you're, just exploring, that's great. If you want to bring in your pricing calculator next Tuesday, we can talk about it as a group. If you need help, you're always welcome to text in. You can text Amanda at 708-401-6465. And it'll be like, oh yeah, the roundtable, and I'll talk about the pricing guide if you need it. But I really, really appreciate everybody who turned out today. You guys are awesome. And I'm looking forward to next Tuesday, and happy National Bounce House Day on the 27th. So way to go. Love it.
Does Hallmark have a card for that?
They should. We need to start suggesting that. More things.